How does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? You're the one that believes that the insurrection. You're the one that believes that the insurrection.
Marjorie Greene is now being accused of kicking an 18-year-old activist, and you're seeing the footage of it right now. That is Mariana Pecora, who tweeted out, "My name is Mariana Pecora. I'm the Deputy Communications Director of Voters Tomorrow, and Representative Marjorie Greene just kicked me." She was walking in front of Greene. She and other activists were trying to ask Greene questions, mainly about gun control. Marjorie Greene was being as aggressive and dim as ever, and she apparently didn't like that someone was walking in front of her. Despite it being clear in video that there was a lot of room behind her, she could have walked slower, she decided to kick the activist. And we have a different angle. Take a look at this.
Yes, how does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? The Second Amendment, how does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? You're the one that believes that the insurrection
step out of the way.
interest.
You're blocking a member of Congress.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You're blocking a member of Congress. You need to stay away.
Members of Congress.
You can't block members of Congress.
You're talking.
You literally cannot do that. That's against
the insurrection.
Step out of the way.
Interest.
You're blocking a member of Congress.
By the way, that video Marjorie Greene herself put on Twitter, seeming to want the world to know that she goes around kicking people, and thereby answering the question I've had for some time: what does a congresswoman who isn't on any committees and doesn't write legislation actually do with her time? She kicks kids. That's what she does. What do you both think about this?
They've become comic book villains. I mean, now they're kicking kids. So look, let's put it in context. Okay, so did she like strangle the kid? No. Okay, but did she take some physical action towards her? There's no question. You see it in the video, clear as day. You see her looking down, Marjorie Taylor Greene looking down before she does it. And I can't quite tell if she's kicking her or if she's trying to step on her shoes. And I actually think that's very possible because remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene in her mind is a child, right? So she's probably thinking, I'm going to give her a flat. Okay. And that is about the, capacity, her mental capacity, as we've seen 1,000 times over. And I would like to also note the irony of them saying, you cannot block a member of Congress. You cannot block a member of Congress. Although on January 6th, you could hunt them down and maybe do physical harm to them. Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't mind that. But God forbid you ask her a tough question. You can't block a member of Congress. You can't block her. Oh, really? That's apparently new.
Yeah. Hello, somebody on that, Cenk. I mean, you said everything I was going to say with the exception of Georgia. Get your congresswoman, please.
Somebody's got to rein her in.
Get her.
Or Marjorie Greene, go there. Go, like there are people who could use a little bit of help, I'm sure, in that entire state. Congress people are supposed to actually do services for their constituents. She hosts a podcast. Maybe that's a service. I don't know. Anyway, we have a statement from Mariana Pecora, who said, "It's honestly really disheartening to think that a bunch of kids can hold themselves with better composure than a sitting member of Congress. We've been sitting in meetings all week with both Democrats and Republicans. Nobody has been anything but respectful. Everybody has just been so incredibly attentive and taken us seriously and had really productive conversations with us, except for Marjorie Taylor Greene." And she and her group say that they haven't yet decided if they're going to be pressing charges or anything like that. If they choose to, they have some video evidence, and thanks to Marjorie Greene, they have multiple angles on it.
Yeah, I want to go to graphics 6 and 7 here because so Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted this out like she's proud of it. Like, look at me, look at kicking children. Where are the puppies? I'll kick them too. But she wrote out, these foolish cowards want the government to take away guns and the rights of parents to defend their children in schools. You have to be an idiot to think gun control will create a utopian society where criminals disarm themselves and obey the law. Gun-free zones kill people. Do they? Because I'd like to show you graphic 7. So this is a chart of gun-related deaths versus guns in the country. You see us on the far right corner. We have tons and tons of guns, and we have tons and tons and tons of gun deaths. It looks, and we don't have, there's no gun-free zones in a lot of America, and that's what we have, nothing but massacres, right? Now, at the bottom left is people who are countries that have gun-free zones. The entire country's a gun-free zone. Okay? And what happened? In Japan, the UK, Netherlands, South Korea, there's almost no gun-related deaths. Almost none. Who's the idiot now, Marjorie Taylor Greene? The massacres are because of the guns. It is absolutely indisputable. If you don't believe that, you just simply don't understand facts. You're mentally incapable of understanding math, numbers, and logic. And there's no question you're the idiot.
I have a challenge, an ongoing standing challenge for right-wingers, especially right-wingers who, for them, having access to guns is the most important thing in the world. They love this argument about gun-free zones. You see her tweeting out gun-free zones kill people. So obviously schools are gun-free zones. That's why in America kids dies, because it's a gun-free zone. Why doesn't it happen in any other country? Why does the fact that those are gun-free zones in every other country in the world not result in constant mass shootings in schools? Why in the UK? Why in Germany? Why in Russia? Why in Madagascar? They're gun-free zones, and yet there's no shootings. They don't have an answer, and they're not required to ever answer, despite the fact that we have supposedly a media, we have an opposition party. They just keep saying the same debunked nonsense.
Look, you're forcing me to say two more things, John.
Apologies.
One, again, this is a point that Nina and I made while we were both running. Why isn't there somebody in Congress that puts up that chart that I just put up and said Marjorie Taylor Greene said we're idiots because we think gun-free zones work? Well, here are countries that did gun-free zones, and they have almost no deaths from guns. So it is indisputable that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a moron. Now, why do I say that? Because it'll get media attention. People are like, oh my God, he broke etiquette. He broke etiquette. Are you allowed to say that about Republicans? Republicans say it all the time about Democrats. She just said it in that tweet. And everybody's like, oh, that's totally normal. Totally normal. Republicans can say anything they want about Democrats. But Democrats are not allowed to say it. Why don't you just goddamn say it? So that it'll draw attention, so people will see the chart and go, oh, wait, it turns out the guns are why we're having nonstop massacres. Because the point isn't to yell at her. The point isn't to use a bad word. The point is to get people to look at the goddamn chart and go, oh, damn, I never saw that before. It turns out it is the guns. Of course it's the guns. But Democrats always way too polite. So this story will have 98% of people on the left saying she shouldn't have kicked the kid, which is obviously true. But you should also say on top of that, we should fight back against her. Not in the way she does it physically, weirdo kicking like babies and puppies, right? But we should fight back super aggressive, rhetorically and politically. Can I please see that fight in D.C. from Democrats?
I mean, and she made it so easy, Cenk. They make it so easy to push back on them. And the Democrats just won't do it.
All right, look, super last thing on that. Stop asking for apologies. Make them ask for an apology. Hit them so hard rhetorically that they're all going around going, oh, Democrats should apologize. I got a boo-boo. Okay, get 10,000 times tougher.